Feeling overwhelmed? Searching for someone who truly gets it? At J. Branch & Associates, we provide mental health support for BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and others facing unique challenges. We understand the weight of generational trauma, the struggles of identity, and the pressures of being a part of an underestimated and overlooked group. At J. Branch & Associates, therapy isn't a one-size-fits-all. We create a safe, culturally aware space where you can feel seen, heard, and understood. Finding a therapist who truly fits you matters, and that's exactly what we're here for. Our team of highly trained licensed therapists bring compassion, empathy, and real-world experience to help you on your journey to healing and growth. We're committed to helping you become the best version of yourself. Ready to take the next step? Visit us at www.drjbranch.com for more information, or call or text 404-436-2540 to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. You can also book your first session today. Thank you for choosing J. Branch & Associates, therapists of color providing exceptional care to BIPOC communities, quality service, exceptional care from authentic professionals.
Three parallels. Yeah. Three parallels. Yeah. Three parallels.
Three Parallel Podcast. Come take this walk with me.
Welcome back to the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we discover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. On today's episode, I got one for you. This is all about self-care. Now, before we dive into this episode, my disclaimer, this podcast is not a substitute for therapy. So go get you a therapist. Yes, you heard it here first. Go get you one. If you ain't got one, or if you got one that ain't that good, go get a better one. This show is for you to get better. However, it doesn't substitute the work that you do with your therapist. So if you don't have one, you never thought about getting one, now is your time. So let's dive into self-care. Now, my belief is self-care is whatever you say it is. I'm going to start there first. And what I want to share with you are opportunities to look at self-care in a new and different way. How do we look at self-care in a new, different way? By compartmentalizing it. And the compartments that I'm going to give you are really simple. It's only 4. So through my work, through my research, through life, through so many different things, I've found 4 key elements to enhance our self-care practices. So whoever you are, wherever you are, from head to toe, there's only 4 key components. And these 4 key components, if I'm focusing on these 4 things, that will give me everything I need to fill my cup. And I look at self-care as in filling a cup. All of us have cups or deposits, like a bank account, right? So your self-care is now a bank account, and many of us got a zero balance. And we still out here spending. Ooh, I just want to talk about self-care, okay? So when you look at the self-care system or plan, I want you to think about a bank account. In this bank account, you got 4 different accounts in the bank account. Just like you can have a checking, savings, investment, house, credit, whatever. So I want you to look at these 4 different things, a part of this bank. The bank is called ESPM Bank because this is the ESPM model for self-care. I just want to put it in a way, context that you can connect it to digest it. So ESPM. ESPM represents emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental. I'm going to give you this one for free. You ain't got to work that hard. ESPM, emotional, spiritual, physical, mental. These are all 4 cups, all 4 accounts that you have to pour money into. And the money is the things that you do. Yes, indeed. I hope you're ready because I'm ready. Buckle up, buttercup. Let's start from the top. When it comes to our self-care, a lot of times we're not great at self-care because we're doing what we were taught and told to do, meaning take care of everybody but us. Save the world, right? Superman mentality. We've been here before. And this Superman mentality, the belief that we have at this Superman mentality is it's my job, it's my responsibility to save everybody, especially those that are close to me. And don't let me be in a helping profession. I'm really on 12 on a scale of 1 to 10 to save the world. This is a belief. You're entitled to it, but this belief does not serve you. This is why compassion fatigue and burnout happens within our profession, because there's so many people who just have a natural ability and desire to help, support, assist others, and they happen to get into an industry that this is what the job requires. But imagine being in this industry where the clients or people are constantly taking. And if they're constantly taking, we're constantly pouring out, there's going to be an imbalance. I want to share my recognition when I recognized that I was burnt out. And I didn't recognize it until I was already burnt out. So, any helping professional, this is especially for you, but for any human being, this is for you too. So, I was working at a residential treatment facility where these were adults with addiction or overcoming addiction. They were in recovery. So, they were dealing with substance use, substance abuse. So, dealing with recovery. So, they're to get clean, get sober. And a lot of these people were at different places and stages of their life, different places and stages of their recovery. And for me, I'm a newbie. You know, I've had my degree for a few years at this time, but I'm there with this Superman mentality, the same mentality many of us listening have, that I can save the world, that I can save every client here because it's my responsibility. That was my belief. It was a false belief, but I held on to it as a fact. And that job slowly took my life away from me, meaning all day, every day, I was looking at how can I help? How can I assist? I go to work early, I leave late, or I wouldn't leave at all. I was constantly there because even after I left work, I went home and still did work. Let me give you an example. I would work, 8 to 10 hour days. I would go home, and to relax, I would watch Intervention show on A&E that highlights and documents people in addiction, active addiction, and recovery. That was my way of relaxing. Because in my mind, this is how you become great. I didn't even recognize how backwards that was or how unhealthy that was until my supervisor at the time let me know, hey, I don't think this is the best show to watch when you get home because I never left work. And even when I watched the show or even after the show, I would have clients literally, like figuratively, still at home with me because I took my work home, as many of us do. Especially as a newbie, I was a salamander, so I always take my work home often, more often than not. So I never had a chance for me. Eventually, over time, this took a toll on me, and eventually I got to a place where I decided, okay, I'm going to quit. I'm going to leave. This doesn't work for me anymore. And just like an addict, every time I said I would quit, I kept going back. I said, this is the year, January 20, whatever. This is the year. January came and went, still there. February came and went. My birthday in July, I said, all right, July is the year. I'm not going to turn this age and still work here. Still there. And this went on for a few years until I finally hit rock bottom. And rock bottom for me was depression, anxiety. I'm taking medication just to stay present. I'm depressed. I'm hurting. I'm not really active. I'm not social. I'm just in this dark cave. And that's when I recognized this doesn't work for me and I need a break. I need a break from the profession. Mind you, I'm in a profession. I'm licensed. I'm doing my thing, my thug thizzle in this profession at the top of my game, and decided it's finally time to walk away. I felt like Jordan when he retired, and everybody was just shocked. I was shocked too, but I retired just like Jordan. And finally, I made a decision. All right, instead of me trying to save everybody else, let me take a moment to save myself. And that's what I did. I never shared with the job what I was doing, but I let them know this is my 2 weeks notice. Or it may have been 30 days. Maybe 30 days or 2 weeks. I don't even remember. Again, that was part of my past. But I want to share my past to help you with your future and your present. Come on with it. So, finally made the decision. I left. And when I left, I went and traveled. I had some money saved, so I went and traveled, saw the world a little bit, and then decided to do something I always wanted to do. In undergrad, I was known as the guy who made all the drinks. I was really good at it. So much so I wanted to be a bartender. So I decided at this time, grown as all get out, with a license, a private practice, and everything, I'm going to become a licensed bartender. And that's exactly what I did. Closed my practice temporarily, left that site, and just worked. I just did odd jobs here and there. And then I went and got my license to become a bartender, which was in Atlanta at the time. And I had a frat brother who was in Atlanta who I did not share my truth with because everybody can't handle your truth. So I shared with him, hey, I'm down here for a week for a conference, man. Can I stay in your basement? He said, yeah, help yourself. Thinking about a conference. He would ask, how was that counseling conference? Oh, man, it's great. Mind you, I smell like liquor, liquor and beer because of class. Oh, y'all must have had a good time. Yes, we did. So anyway, I stayed in this man's basement for a week to do this class. It was 40 hours. And I finished, got the certificate, got the license, and got my a job immediately after. My first job right after was at a country club, one of the wealthiest country clubs in the state of Alabama at that time. I'm pretty sure they're still there. Number one. And I infiltrated this country club. I'll be writing a book about it, or it will be in the book. So just know you'll get more later. Um, but I decided to take a job at a country club. And I'm talking about this is a country club that was not diverse at all. The only people of color are the people that worked there. There were no members at the time, and probably even now, that were a person of color. Everybody was white. And these are wealthy families all throughout the state of Alabama. And I worked in this country club, which means I did the complete opposite of what I was doing in this recovery center. I was encouraging people to drink instead of telling people not to, encouraging people not to drink. So I did the complete opposite. And it was life changing for me. I finally start finding my way again because I moved away from this Superman mentality, trying to save the world and just save myself. And how did I save myself? I left the world of trying to save other people. And by doing that, it changed my life. What's so wild about it, as a bartender at this country club, I made more money bartending than I did as a licensed therapist. Had more fun too. I was drinking on the job and everything. It was my job. I got to test the drinks. I got to taste it, make sure everything right. It was a great time. I had a great time. Made a lot of money. Made plenty of money. So there were parties, there were weddings and festivals, all these different things. And I would work, I would serve. There were people, members who would have private parties at their home. They would hire me. Nobody knew who I was. They just knew I was a great bartender. And I was. I was phenomenal at it. Name one person you know who's a licensed therapist and licensed mixologist. I'll wait. Okay, I'm done waiting. So moving to the next space. From doing that, I took about a year off and served as a bartender and loved every minute of it. I mean, cummerbund, bow tie, penguin suit. I rocked it. I kept a corkscrew and a lighter and a pen in my hand. Those were my tools. So I turned in my therapy tools for bartending tools. And it was one of the greatest years of my life. And during that time, I decided I'll never work in mental health, work in addictions again or substance abuse again. But as we all know, oftentimes we end up with our foot in our mouths. Because as soon as I got my life together and developed this ESPM system for self-care, this is where it came from, and this is what I want to share with you. As soon as that happened and I got myself back together, I stopped taking medication, didn't need to see a psychiatrist anymore. I start finding myself, feeling myself, and really getting back to what was important to me, and that is me. So I started making deposits in my emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental accounts, and that changed everything. By doing that, I got what I needed, no longer taking medication, no longer depressed, anxiety, not dealing with any of that stuff, and living a happy life, and decided, okay, I'm ready to get back into the profession. Guess what? First job, clinical director of an outpatient treatment center. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. But once I experienced that, I never went back again. And that was over a decade ago, 10 years ago to be exact, this year. Never experienced it again. So I want to share this with you in hopes that you can use it to help yourself. So let's dive in. ESPM, write it down. You need a pen, paper, get your journal, notebook, whatever you need to. And on this, we're going to do it together. I want you to draw a huge circle. Take up the whole page if you have to. Like, really, if you're not driving, if you have a time to do this, really do this with me. So I want you to draw a huge circle and put a vertical and horizontal line. For those who struggle with math like me, draw a line straight up and down, draw a line across. It should look like a pie chart with 4 sections. So imagine a pie with 4 sections. Top left, the letter E. Top right, the letter S. Bottom left, the letter P. Bottom right, the letter M. ESPM. So I want to assess where you are and then determine where you're about to go. So the first thing is I'm asking you, I'm curious, what do you do daily to enhance your emotional wellness, emotional well-being? What do you do daily? Whatever it is, write it down. Fill it out, fill out that little corner and write it down. Maybe 2, 3 things, maybe more. Now, know that once you've done this 1 or 2 or 3 things that you've done for your emotional well-being, it cannot count for anything else. So if you said for my emotional wellness, I listen to music, you can't use music for anything else. Yeah, we going there. So that's emotion. And I'm willing to bet you probably may not have been able to fill that whole section up, which is okay, because this is your assessment. Moving to the next, S. What do S represents? S represents spirituality. What do you do daily? And I'm talking about every day to enhance your excuse me. What do you do daily to enhance your spiritual well-being every day? Write it down. I'm sure you said church, yoga, other things, whatever it is, that's what you did. Religion, whatever it is, what you did. That's cool. So whatever you did, shade in as much as you think you did, or shade in a percentage of what you think you do. Whatever it is, that's fine. It works. And now that we're halfway through this, I got life work for you. Life work is very different from homework. Homework, you take it home, you do it, you never remember again. Life work, you take it home, you do it, your life will change. I want to give you an opportunity to change your life. How do you do that? I want you to create 2 to 3 new things for each category from today moving forward. So whatever you do currently for your emotional and spiritual wellness, I think it's cool. I think it's good. It's not great. It's not great because you've always done it. What makes it great is to elevate it or enhance it. So for your emotional well-being, if you said, doing things that make me happy, whatever that is, how can I do more things to make me happy? You said spiritual, going to church. How can I do more things to enhance my spiritual well-being, whatever that may be? Come up with 2 to 3 new things and start practicing doing those things. That's how we enhance or we evolve. Let me give an example. Say, for instance, you brush your teeth every day, twice a day, right? That's pretty decent. It's pretty cool. But to get better, imagine if you start flossing. You're adding a little floss, right? Let's go a little further. You add some mouthwash. Go a little further, add a little tongue scrape. Go further, add some dental appointments. You ain't been to the dentist since you was 3. I ain't talking about you unless I'm talking about you. But you ain't been to the dentist in a while. What if I start going back to the dentist once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year? That can change the outcome of my grill. So that's halfway. Many of us are doing half work, meaning we do something to enhance our emotional, we do something for our spiritual, and that's it. That's like taking a shower and just washing your upper body. Ooh wee. I'm so glad it's virtual. I'm so glad we can hear each other and not see each other or smell each other. But let's go further. We're just talking about where you were. Physical, what do you do daily to enhance your physical wellness, well-being? Write it in, write it down. You may have 2 or 3 things. Last but not least, M, mental. What do you do to enhance your mental well-being? Write it down, whatever it is. Now, whatever you have, if you shaded it in, that's great. If you made a percentage out of it, because every quadrant represents 25%, the circle as a whole represents 100%. So whatever you've done, I want you to calculate, and this doesn't have to be drawn on a scale, but how much are you currently taking care of yourself out of 100%? Based off of what I assume for you, more than likely, for many of us, we're taking care of ourselves 20% of the time. That means everybody else gets 80% of you. Everyone and everything else gets 80%. You take care of yourself 20% of the time. That's like having $20 in your bank account. How long will $20 last you in a day? It's over with by lunch. It's over with. Whatever drive-through you end up at, it's over with by lunchtime, especially if you're a coffee drinker. It's over before you can get to work. You spend $20 trying to get coffee for you and everybody else. Why? Because you want to save the world. Hey, Superman, Superwoman, super person. Hey, boo-boo. Yes, I'm talking about you. I have to, because this is how we begin the process of change, by being aware of who we are. Now, that was your assessment. We can all agree, for the most part, that we take care of ourselves about 20% of the time, which is fine. It's the Superman mentality, which is a belief. Understand your beliefs are the reasons you are struggling or successful. Just my 3 cents. So on the back page or the next page, I want you to draw a huge circle again, but I want to give you some insight and some information before we go to this next piece, because where we were was just to assess. Now we're going to go to planning and doing some things. But before we do some things, let's talk about some things. I want to talk about the Superman mentality. The Superman mentality is this belief that I can save the world. Reality is you cannot. I don't care who you are or where you are. You cannot save the world. Who you can save is the person that's listening to the show, which is you. That's it. You cannot control or change anybody else but you. That's what I want to challenge you to put your intention and focus on, especially for this year. Because there's going to be a lot of things that's happening outside of our control that is going to be detrimental in so many different ways. Think about it. First of the year, there was a tragedy happened in New Orleans. First of the year. And then the bombing happened, and deaths, murders, and shoot. We ain't even finished January yet. So I want to challenge you to look at you, put more emphasis on you. So the Superman mentality, this belief that I can save the world. The reality is you can only save who you can. Start with yourself. So to save yourself, draw that circle again, ESPM, right? Emotional, spiritual, physical, mental. Think about the life work I just gave you, two to three new things that you can do. And now what I want to share with you is going from, we talked about this before, the macro level to the micro level. For example, for physical, you may have mentioned going to the gym, right? That's macro because that's big. Unless it's part of your lifestyle, it's work to get to that gym every day or every other day. But if it's part of my lifestyle, no big deal. I may need to work in another area. So when I think about physical wellness and health, it's moving away from this gym mentality to moving into a movement mentality. As long as I'm moving, I'm making progress. If I'm sitting at home, I'm not walking, I'm eating whatever, I'm not making as much progress. So when you think about your physical wellness, I want you to think about your body. So we're starting with P, physical. Think about your body. What can I do to enhance my body? First thing is what I choose to ingest. Food. Food. Whatever you're eating, be mindful of your eating. What am I drinking? Now, we post pandemic, we should be training that we can shift that wine to water now because it was wine and liquor and everything else. Now we can intake more water. So me choosing to drink more water enhances my physical wellness. It's small, but it's big. Me choosing to have breakfast or what I choose to eat during breakfast, that enhances my physical. Also, think about where do I physically spend my time? Always at work, always at home, always down Pookie Nim house, always at the club, always at the bar, always at here or there. Where am I physically spending my time? Think about it. And if you're looking at enhancing, you want to be mindful of how you choose to spend your time. So when I think about physical, think about the body. That's just one element. And whatever I choose to do, if it's only one thing, that means I poured into that cup. So physical body, I choose to drink more water. I choose to be mindful of what I ingest as far as food. I choose to go to work on time and leave on time. That helps me physically. Instead of going down to Spoojak Nam house, I go home, right? And take care of me. I take a bath, I take a shower, whatever the case may be. That's what I choose to do for me. So now that enhances your physical well being for the day. Those are deposits that you make for the day because every day we're making withdrawals. Let's go further. E. E represents your emotional well being. What do you do or what can you start doing to enhance your emotional well being every day? What can you start doing? I'll help. What I do every single day, find a way to laugh. You can tell I love me some me. I love humor. I love myself. I'm good at it. Anything else enhances. But I try to find a way to laugh. That's what brings joy to my life. That's what helps me emotionally. That's what brings joy to my heart. Laughter. So I'm intentional about laughing because that's a micro level to give me a macro result. Laughter is one thing. Playing with my boys, boom, we gonna laugh. We gonna kick it. We gonna laugh. We gonna have a good time. Third is a movie. I don't care who you are, where you are. If you watch a Disney movie or a cartoon movie, you can be pissed off at the world. By the end of that hour and 20-minute movie, you're going to be feeling it very differently because movie or TV or cartoons typically brings you back to your childhood in some capacity. So if I'm out here in these adult streets and I choose to be safe and watch a movie and bring myself to that vulnerable place in the basement, then that changes things. So we took care of our emotional, we took care of our spiritual. So therefore, that's us again taking a shower, washing half of your body. Understand, if I'm taking care of myself 20%, which we all agreed to, that's like taking a shower and washing 20% of your body. That's one underarm. Hate to be one to tell you, but I'm glad it's virtual. I'm glad we're not in the same room. And then when we in a room together, you'll have some insights, some information, so it'll be smelling pretty nice up in there. Next, spiritual. How do you enhance your spiritual well-being? Understand there's a difference between spirituality and religion. Spirituality, what we're born with, is just in it. It's in us. It's natural. Whatever you feel connected to, move to, like water and nature and wind and animals and all these things that we don't control. Like I ain't never seen no human being make an animal. We ain't never did that. You know what I'm saying? Like we just certain things spiritually in this world we cannot control. All right. So when you think about spirituality, that's of this earth, of this world we can't control. When you think about religion, it is of people that we can control. Ooh, wee. This may be a little deep. If I step on your toes, I do not apologize. Religion is a set of rules, principles, guidelines that we live by that somebody told us or taught us or we read it in the book. I don't know another way because I don't know anybody who's died and came back and told us how it is. So therefore, religion is a set of rules and principles, which is important and valuable. I'm a man, a Christian man, Jesus Christ, head of my life, the whole nine. I am all of that. And I understand both worlds of spirituality and religion, and I integrate both to enhance my spiritual wellness, well-being. Another way that I enhance my spiritual well-being is music. Every single day I'm listening to music. I don't care what it is. Hip hop, R&B, trap, gospel, don't matter. I'm listening to it. Guess what? You have an option to listen to it as well. How can you listen to it? The Three Parallels podcast playlist that's available on Spotify and iTunes right now. Dive in, my friend, because music can always bring life in so many different ways. Last but not least, mental. What do you do to enhance your mental well-being every day? For me, I learned how to use the word no. Yep, no is a complete sentence last time I checked. So anytime you use no, you don't have to explain it. You don't have to share it. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to do anything but say no and go. I said it. Say no and go. It's a complete sentence. You don't have to explain it. But imagine how often you explain yourself when you set healthy boundaries. Truth in the booth. Mental wellness. So for me, healthy boundaries, saying no. Also, mentally, think about what you're consuming. Am I always on social media? Seeing what everybody else doing? What am I doing for myself? Therapy. Am I going to therapy? Have I gone to therapy? When the last time? Have I tried therapy? Therapy enhances your mental wealth. That's a good one. Mental wealth. I like that. Therapy enhances your mental wealth and mental health. Not the only way, but it is a way. For me, it's a way as well because I'm a Black male therapist who also has a therapist. Why not? So we've taken care of the emotional, spiritual, physical, mental. Now, how do I do this daily? Because if I fill this whole circle up, it only lasts about 24 hours. That's it. That's all. 24 hours. So therefore, guess how often I need to do this? Every day. Again, if I look at ESPM like a shower, if I take a shower, how long will that shower last me until I need another one? About 24 to 48 hours. Since it's post-pandemic, I'll give you 72 hours. Other people might not, though. So don't go to work talking about Dr. Brand said I get 48 to 72. I ain't tell you that. What I did say is wash your ass, meaning take care of yourself, your emotional, spiritual, physical, mental, not your underarm, not your upper body, but your entire self from head to toe by making deposits in 4 of your accounts. Emotionally, how can I put more money in my account that brings joy to my heart? Spiritually, how can I put more money in my account that connects to my soul? Physical, how can I put more money in my account that connects to my body? And mental, how can I put more into my account that connects to my mind? And if I choose to do this daily, you will be unstoppable. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. Because the more you take care of yourself, the more you can take care of everybody else. And I take care of more people now than I have over a decade ago in different ways, but I'm prepared and equipped to do just that because I have healthy boundaries, I have limits, and I do the best I can with what I have. Instead of the Superman mentality, which is the story I want to share to close out this episode. So the belief, the Superman mentality that I can save the world, right? It's a belief and you're entitled to it, but it's not a fact because the fact is you cannot save the world. You can only save who you can. Superman, right? That mentality. Superman can't save the world. Guess who he saves? The only people who he can. And guess the people who he can save? They live in Metropolis. So if you live in Gotham City, you're fucked. Good luck having Superman save you. You better call Batman and be careful. It's crypto season. Bruce Wayne hanging out with Elon them. He may not even have time for you today. Multi-billionaire. Holla at your boy. So therefore, this Superman mentality doesn't work because Superman can't even do it. What makes us think we can do it? We don't have a quarter of the powers that Superman has. Superman can blow wind. All we do is break wind. That's the most you can do, boo-boo. So let me give you an example of this Superman mentality that has to die today. because it's a belief. Superman works a full-time job, 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, depends on if it's sweeps week. He works at the Daily Planet. He takes PTO to go save somebody if he does. Guess what? When you go save somebody, you sneak off work. I just want to talk about it. Or you don't even know how to take time off because you never have. Perfect attendance connects to you in your elementary school. You don't need perfect attendance at work. It don't count for nothing. It don't count. You don't get more or less. It don't count. Whether you salary or hourly, it don't count. Okay. So take some time off for yourself. So say for instance, this woman or man or person hanging from this abandoned building, Superman takes off work, goes to get dressed to go get this person from this abandoned building, drop them back to the earth and allow other people to help them while Superman goes off to the next place. Do you know where Superman goes when he leaves? To the Fortress of Solitude, the ice cave, where he kicks back with a six-pack, watching Netflix in his living room, shoes and socks off, rubbing his toes together. While we, on the other hand, are sneaking off work, may not even change clothes. Go save this person, bring them back to earth, bringing everybody and their mama around to pat them off and make sure they clean, get rid of the blood. And we stay there until the next emergency for me to go save somebody else. And we keep doing that until death, until we decide that no longer works for me. I want to share my story because that mentality no longer works for me. And this new mentality does work. And that's what I want to offer to you. So give yourself an opportunity to take better care of yourself by saving yourself first. By doing things you've never done before. How? Using this exact same model to help you become the best version of yourself possible. I challenge you to make more deposits in your emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental wellness account. Every day, find a way to take care of you. And if you're not doing that, now is a great opportunity to begin practicing it. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for practice. We talking about practice? Yeah, we talking about practice because many of us live with this championship mentality, meaning every time I get up to play, I want to win a championship. I want confetti to fall. But any professional athlete in this world has practiced 100 times more than they've ever won a championship. Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, they got some numbers related to practice more so than the numbers that we know of with the rings. So what I want to challenge you to do is begin practicing taking better care of yourself by doing one thing at a time each day. So instead of trying doing all ESPM, start small. Let me just work on my emotional today. Tomorrow, spiritual. Next week, emotional and spiritual. Week after that, just keep going until you get to a place where you can do all four at the same time. I've been working on this for a decade and I still haven't mastered it yet, but I'm better now than I've ever been before. Move away from this black and white, right or wrong mentality and just begin practicing on a micro level. Eventually, you can make some waves on a macro level. I hope this has been helpful for you in some capacity. Again, my lived experience, my life, I'm just choosing to share it with you. Use it to your advantage. Also, if you're looking for a licensed bartender who's also a licensed therapist, I am accepting new clients. My rate is up there though. So whatever private party you got, you need a guest bartender, guest mixologist. Holla at your boy. I'm dead serious too. But yeah, we gonna pay to play. You got to pay to play. So that's what I have for today. I just want to share my thoughts. I just want to share my feelings. I just want to share my truth. I just want to give you something that was given to me a decade ago and it still runs my life to this day. Because now, as soon as I finish this recording, guess where I'm going? To the lake. Because that enhances my emotional and my spiritual wellness, but I only count it as one. So guess what? I'm on the lake and I got a sandwich. That's two. And I'm listening to music. That's three. And I'm fishing. That's four. I'm just playing. I'm not finna fish, but I'm gonna eat some. This has been another episode of the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for the monster that we are about to become. If this show has been a blessing to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, or you know somebody that's burnt out, competitive fatigue, and they don't even know it, send them the episode, send them a clip, send them something, maybe a sandwich, whatever it is, give them something or give it to yourself. Much love, peace, and fish grease. I'm out.
Feeling overwhelmed? Searching for someone who truly gets it? At J. Branch & Associates, we provide mental health support for BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and others facing unique challenges. We understand the weight of generational trauma, the struggles of identity, and the pressures of being a part of an underestimated and overlooked group. At J. Branch & Associates, therapy isn't a one-size-fits-all. We create a safe, culturally aware space where you can feel seen, heard, and understood. Finding a therapist who truly fits you matters, and that's exactly what we're here for. Our team of highly trained licensed therapists bring compassion, empathy, and real-world experience to help you on your journey to healing and growth. We're committed to helping you become the best version of yourself. Ready to take the next step? Visit us at www.drjbranch.com for more information, or call or text 404-436-2540 to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. You can also book your first session today. Thank you for choosing J. Branch & Associates, therapists of color providing exceptional care to BIPOC communities, quality service, exceptional care from authentic professionals.